going on, everyone? So by now, I'm sure many of you are aware that the Lakers could really use another center, right? So far, we are just kind of operating Anthony Davis as the primary center, which, I mean, he is, but we don't have anybody to really spell him for ample amount of time outside of Wenyen Gabriel, who is undersized, right? He's a great small ball guy. He's a great sort of hustle guy, but he's best served at the 4. And ever since Mo Bamba's gone down, we don't have that size at the center position outside of AD, and that really hurts us at times. Plus, Wenyen Gabriel and Anthony Davis playing side by side, Darvin Ham has done that a lot lately, and it's really been successful. It's looked good. Wenyen Gabriel and his hustle and drive, along with Anthony Davis, has really led to us getting more rebounds, second chance points, all of that stuff. And it was one of the big driving factors in the Dallas Mavericks game, right? It was one of the big things that got us back into the game. And then on top of that, actually getting us the lead. Now, of course, we know how the end result went with the Dallas game, but still, it was very likely going to be a blowout at that point until Darvin Ham made that adjustment, and it really helped. So if the Lakers wanted to do more of that, they really could use another center. On top of that, they just could use another center, another body, period. Now, I've talked about how I want the Lakers to go kind of the veteran route. DeMarcus Cousins, Nerlens Noel, pieces like that. Guys that have experience, guys that understand the ins and outs, guys that can just, bang down low. Where if you get some of the younger guys, the issue is that their lack of experience, or them very likely being a project, because usually young guys that are gifted and talented enough to play in the NBA that don't have a roster spot taken, usually there's a reason for that, right? And so that's always been my concern. Like even Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba has shown a lot of promise with the Lakers, but he's definitely a project type player, a guy that we're going to have to develop and turn into something, which I do believe he can. But got reports that the Lakers are actually looking to work out several NBA centers, and this is per Shams. So the Los Angeles Lakers are working out free agent center Tristan Thompson and Tony Bradley this week. Sources tell me and Jovan Buha, Tristan Thompson, an 11-year NBA veteran, was a key member of the 2016 Championship Cavaliers team alongside LeBron James. So first one I want to dive into is Tony Bradley. So Tony Bradley, he's not the one that is as familiar, I'm sure, to most people. He's still relatively young, 25 years old, 6'10", in height, so he's got some good size, some good height. Not a guy that's really going to jump out at you, not a guy that's going to be a really huge standout. He's played for several teams, but primarily Utah and Chicago are the two teams that really come to mind. If you were to kind of like look into him, or you may be familiar with him, he had quite a run with Utah. He played 58 games, 42 games, and several seasons. Then he had like a brief stint with Philadelphia, brief stint with OKC, and then Chicago. He played 55 games last year for them, and then he's played 12 games for them this year. Now he is a free agent. Again, not a guy that's really going to jump out on the page to you. He's a guy that he can be a hustle drive guy, a guy that has some decent size and can do a few things, but he's not a guy that really stretches the floor. He's not a guy that is going to jump out at you stat-wise. He is, for his career, about a 4-5 point a game guy with 3 rebounds, although he has always kind of been that limited guy. The most that he ever played was for OKC, in which he played 18 minutes, but usually he's around like a 10-minute a game guy, which is all the Lakers really need, right? The Lakers just need a guy that can come in, give you 10 minutes a game, have some games where maybe you don't have, where he doesn't play, have a DMP, especially when Mo Bamba comes back. Not just that, but I could see them just doing like a 10-day contract, really. I don't think the Lakers are actually going to sign anybody for the remainder of the season, unless it is like a Tristan Thompson, which we'll dive into him in a minute. But Tony Bradley, very likely, if he is brought on, it's going to be in like 2 10-day contracts, because we only have like, 3 weeks left of the season, and then that's it. So you bring Tony Bradley in for 2 10-day contracts. That should get you to the end of the season. Hopefully Mo Bamba will be back come the playoffs, unless they're not sure he will, right? Like, we don't know for sure when he's going to come back, if he has an actual date or not. But if he does, then yes, I see them just doing a 10-day. But like, let's say they're like, hey, he might not be back for, at least the first round of the playoffs. Well, then maybe getting a guy like Tony Bradley, maybe that could kind of help alleviate that, help spell that. If I'm being honest, I'm not very big on Tony Bradley. I just don't think he's going to have the impact that we're looking for. Now, granted, we'll see how his workout goes, but I mean, he was never really able to stand out on any of the places that he was at. He had a couple decent stretches with the Jazz, but has kind of been underwhelming for the most part. I think he's just kind of a guy that would just come in and kind of just be there, maybe get some spot minutes, stuff like that. But I just think I would rather go with again, a DeMarcus Cousins. Like, how bad was DeMarcus Cousins' workout, right? Like, I still wanted Hassan Whiteside, but he's playing for Puerto Rico now, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. I would rather look at like a Nerlens Noel, or one of these like Cauley Stein, or somebody like that, just to bring in to play the role. I think that they would have a bigger impact and do more than Tony Bradley. Now, granted, this is just the first 2 that they're working out. I mean, it's very possible the Lakers bring in other guys to work out, and if that happens, then we'll talk about it then. But let's dive into Tristan Thompson, right? Because Tristan Thompson is a guy that I'm sure most people are very familiar with, right? He was part of the Lakers championship team, or not the Lakers, sorry, the Cavaliers championship team with LeBron James. My biggest problem with Tristan Thompson is just his size, and not just his size, but also his sort of lack of just, it seems like talent, I guess, is been an issue the last few years. He's still relatively young. He's only 32 years old, but he's 6'9", so he's closer to Wenyen Gabriel than anything else, right? I would rather get a sizable, like 6'11", 7-foot center. I mean, even Bradley, at least he's an inch or so taller, but Tristan Thompson, I don't think would be the worst fit in the world, although his stint with Chicago wasn't like great. I mean, he did give you 5 and 5 in Chicago in 16 minutes, but he just looked very raw. You know what I mean? Again, not a guy that really stretches the floor, not a guy that's really going to have a major impact. Like, he's not Tristan Thompson, the championship level guy. Although, can he give you 10 to 15 minutes a game? Right? Can he come in and just kind of be a hustle guy, rebound guy, play some hard-nosed defense? I would rather have size, right? Like, I would rather go DeMarcus Cousins. Again, how bad was his workout? If you're looking at Tristan Thompson, Tony Bradley, over DeMarcus Cousins at this point. I know DeMarcus Cousins is kind of more of just a headache, right? That's the big concern. Him being a locker room issue, as well as just his antics on the court at times. But, I mean, even if you're just doing like a 10-day contract, like, how bad is he going to come in and just destroy your locker room? Probably not very bad. And he's familiar with the Lakers. He's familiar with Anthony Davis. I think he would have some real value, especially if we end up playing, say, like Denver in the first round, or even Sacramento. Being able to put him on Sabonis and just have him kind of bully Sabonis, I think would be really beneficial. Where Tristan Thompson, I'm not super sold on him. I mean, look, if they bring him in, we need size. So, I mean, if they bring him in, sure, right? I'll take what we can get at this point. I'll take whoever we can, whoever the Lakers will sign at this point, and hopefully he comes in and is solid. I mean, look, if he can give us, 5 and 5 in 10 minutes a game or whatever, or 12 minutes a game, that is more than enough. Like, that's fine, right? Because he's not going to be playing heavy minutes. He's going to be playing just spot minutes. He's going to be playing, spot minutes like Wenyen Gabriel, right? Like how Wenyen Gabriel was just playing, some games he didn't play at all. Some games he was playing 10 minutes. That's what is very likely going to happen with Tristan Thompson or whomever we bring in. But Tristan Thompson, if he can stay healthy, if he can stay driven, if he can kind of stay focused, right? Because he's got a lot of just stuff constantly going on, tied up in the Kardashians and their whole mess. And, how in shape is he? That's another real question. Is he ready to go? Is he good to go? Has he been kind of, staying on top of stuff, or has he been, busy running through, women out on the street? Like, what is he doing? That's kind of where I'm at with him. Is I don't like, how focused is he on basketball? How focused is he on coming to the Lakers and actually making an impact? That's something else. But if he does, sure, why not? I also don't think Tristan Thompson being worked out for the Lakers is a coincidence, because LeBron and Tristan Thompson, obviously they have a relationship. Obviously, they know each other, but they were just hanging out like the other day at Bronny's playoff game. Like, they showed up together, they were hanging out, watching Bronny play in like the semifinals or whatever. And then, fast forward a couple days later, and all of a sudden the Lakers are working out Tristan Thompson. I'm sure there was some of that conversation of like, hey, buddy, would you want to come back? We need another big. I think that's something very likely that was discussed, and he said, sure, why not? But I don't know. Again, how bad of a workout did DeMarcus Cousins have, in which you're bringing in Tristan Thompson and you're bringing in, Tony Bradley? I just look at, I wanted Hassan Whiteside. I just don't see happening. I would rather, I do want a veteran, so I wouldn't mind Tristan Thompson in that regard, a locker room guy that come in. I don't know if he'd be the best influence, but I would like a guy that's been there, done that. He's had deep playoff runs. He's been to the finals on numerous occasions, right? So he's a guy that has experience, which I think is very valuable and which the Lakers need, right? They need a guy that can come in and has the experience and the know-how to kind of match up and be a part of like a championship team or a really solid playoff team, right? So I do like the idea in that regard, but I would rather have a more sizable guy and a guy that could stretch the floor a little bit. That would be kind of nice too. I'm not saying they have to be like Mo Bamba, 40% from three, but a guy that like can knock them down from time to time, right? Tristan Thompson isn't really that guy. Tony Bradley isn't really that guy unless he's worked on his shot while he's been out. I don't know. It's just a thought. Tristan Thompson isn't really going to be a great shot blocking big, which I would have liked as well. Tony Bradley would be probably better served for the shot blocking than Tristan Thompson. But we'll see how the workout goes. I'm sure we'll get more information as the coming days end up happening. They're working them out this week. We don't have an exact date, at least at the time of recording this video. So once we find that out, I will let you know. We'll talk about it. And also, if they end up deciding to bring anyone else in, we'll talk about it. But what are your thoughts and opinions? As always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you want Tristan Thompson? Do you want Tony Bradley? Do you want, neither? What are your thoughts? How do you feel? I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below.